3.
Wait. Okay, wait. Okay, now.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Positive.
No, wait, I'm joking. Hi, I'm Nura.
Hi, I'm Aqil, and we are an interracial long-distance couple, and we decided to make a YouTube channel about it.
Not about being a long-distance interracial couple, right?
No, not well. We decided to make a YouTube channel about
Just document our life.
to document our life, to share our experiences.
Yeah. So for our first video, we thought we'd keep it light-hearted and just do like a get-to-know-us kind of video. So yeah, we have 12 questions here and we'll just go through them. Before we get started, just to explain the setup.
Okay.
Obviously because we are long distance, this is the camera, like I'm looking at the camera like this, but Aqil is here, so if I'm ever looking this way, then I'm looking at Aqil because he's on FaceTime on my laptop. And he has a similar setup.
Yeah. So similarly, if I look down, it's because Nura is on FaceTime on my laptop underneath.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look into the lens. Do my best.
Okay, cool. So, first question. What is your ethnicity?
I am ethnically Malay. My family is from Malaysia. We may have other ethnicities mixed in, but I have no idea what they are.
And I'm Arab. My family is originally from Yemen. Where do you currently live?
I currently reside in Boston, Massachusetts. In Boston.
And I'm in London, UK. Where and when did we first meet?
We first met in Malaysia. I'd gone home for my summer break and I picked up an internship, and Nura happened to pick up an internship in the same co-working space, and the space was set up such that each table was more or less a company, and we had overlapping work/social circles. My co-worker was friends with her co-worker, and that's how we got introduced.
The first time we actually spoke was at our friend's open house. So in Malaysia, they, after like each Eid, was it Eid?
It's around Eid. Eid is one of the most popular times to have an open house.
But was hers like a Raya open house?
Yeah, it was kind of like a Raya open house. It wasn't the first Raya or second Raya, probably like the week after, which is normally when open houses kind of kick off.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember when it was. Anyway, it was an open house. It was an open house that she had, and that was the first time we actually spoke. Yeah. Is this the first time you're with someone from a different race?
Yes, it is my first time with someone from a different race. It sounds like I'm answering an interview question.
Same for me. What is the most challenging thing about being in an interracial relationship?
So I want to preface this by saying that Nura and I have been very fortunate in that we haven't had too much opposition or very little opposition from either of our families. So some of the more classical problems with an interracial relationship, we've been very blessed not to have it as much. So for us, or at least for me, it's been more about wanting to share my culture and my language with Nura, and at the same time wanting to learn Nura's culture and language, and having a bit of a disconnect because things like nuances and subtleties that are translated best through language is kind of hard to convey.
Yeah, because obviously my family speak Arabic, his family speak Malay. But like obviously we are fortunate enough also that both of our families speak good enough English that we can understand each other pretty well. And like this past summer, I went to visit Aqil's family in Malaysia, and I got to meet his granddad, and his granddad was like telling us stories and speaking to us in Malay, and I obviously couldn't understand, so Aqil was translating everything, but I knew that within the translation not everything was conveyed. So yeah, I think I want to learn Malay just to understand everything very, very well.
I'd also like to point out that throughout our time together, I've very rarely spoken Malay in front of Nura. So when we went to Malaysia and I spoke Malay,
Nura found it very strange.
I was like, you speak Malay?
it was strange to speak another language. I'm like, I'm bilingual. yes, I speak another language. You've known this our entire time.
No, but like he just never speaks Malay. Obviously, why would he? Because I don't speak it. But like he spoke Malay, and I was like, oh, you speak Malay.
You're like, oh, you speak.
Like I completely forgot. But like, whereas whenever we're on the phone, like my mom comes into my room all the time. So, like I speak to my mom in Arabic, and so he obviously knows that I speak Arabic. But yeah, it's just really weird. Anyway, moving on. How did our families react to our relationship?
My parents were very open, very excited actually about the whole thing. So I'd spoken a lot about Nura to my parents. They knew that I liked her. They'd seen photos of her from her social media. So the way I approached the subject was I video called them and I asked them, what do you think about having Nura as a potential daughter-in-law? They just kind of looked at me. They were like, I thought that was already confirmed. And I'm like, well, okay, glad to know you guys are very open, very appreciative, or very accepting.
Yeah.
So they were very excited.
Yeah, whereas my family weren't as happy, I guess.
Yeah, there was definitely a little bit of resistance.
Yeah, and it was only literally just because Aqil wasn't Arab. I think my family just wanted someone that was Arab, and I think they were just very hesitant about the fact that he wasn't Arab because they thought there was going to be this massive like culture clash. But actually,
yeah, it wasn't really like oh, you can't marry outside your race. It was just
it was actually just the fact that they were like, oh, they didn't know anything about the Malaysian culture, and like slowly when I started to show them, they started to realize that fundamentally, like both Arab and Malay cultures are surrounded by surrounding Islam. They surround Islam.
centered around
What?
centered around Islam.
Centered around Islam. And yeah, so they realized that they were oh my god. Anyway, and then like I also like did this thing where I showed my mum a bunch of like Malay YouTubers and like their daily lives, and I was like, see, they're not that different. So that helped my mum, and then she helped me convince my dad, and literally as soon as my dad said yes, my mum and dad were like, okay, we want to meet him soon. And literally within like a week, Aqil booked a flight, and his parents booked a flight, and they came to London and they met my parents. And that's moving on to the next question. Hold on. So how's it meeting the family?
Her parents were incredible hosts. So much food, so much hospitality.
Arabs and their food.
It was so good though. Nura's mom is an amazing cook, by the way. So one thing we often joke about in our relationship is that I like to cook and Nura likes to eat more than cook.
I do not like to cook. I'm very much an eater.
And after our engagement, a couple of times, Nura's mom kind of prodded her like, oh, you should cook, you're going to be getting married, you need to learn to cook. And I was like, Mama, you don't understand. It's not how this is going to work.
I was like, Mommy, you don't understand, Aqil's the cook. But like even now, like Aqil would make food, because obviously he lives on his own. He would make food and put it on his story, and my mum would message him and be like, oh, can I have the recipe? And like meeting your parents was really, really nice as well, because I think it was the first time that I really got to sit down and really speak to your parents like properly. And like they shared like a lot of stories about Aqil when he was younger, and like family stories and stuff like that. It was really nice. And your mum threw in a few jokes, and she was like, are you sure you want to marry Aqil? He's very messy. And it was just really nice, you know. So what happened was they would literally here for 3 days. So the first day my parents and his parents got to know each other. My parents got to know him a lot more, his parents got to know me a lot more. And then second day we did the engagement. And then third day we went out on a stroll around London, and then fourth day they left. So what was your first impression of me? throwing it back to 2016.
My first impressions of Nura were that she was very bubbly and bright and cheery, with an amazing, beautiful smile. Very kind, very caring was also what I got from my first impressions of Nura. And she was also the only British person working within the space, and her accent is amazing.
I think I'm losing my accent though, because I have a tendency to pick up accents. So I keep forgetting to look at the camera. But I have a tendency to pick up accents. So when obviously I left for Malaysia, I had my British accent. I came back with a Malay accent, the Malaysian accent.
And you only there for what, 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah, and then now because I speak to you every day, like I feel like I've lost some of my English accent. Like there are American words in my accent. And it's really weird. I don't like it. But whatever. Anyway. My first impression of you. I don't know, you were nice. You had a really big smile. You were very hardworking. Whenever because our company is kind of sat close to each other, so you were always working. So I assumed you were hardworking.
I was really enjoying what I did during the internship. It was fun.
Yeah, I guess that's it. So, next question. Do you plan on getting married and having children? I do want to say that we are already married, legally. This past Christmas we went to Niagara Falls in Canada and we got married with our friends and family in attendance. Yeah. But we still haven't done the Islamic wedding, and the Islamic wedding would have been in 2 weeks, but because of Corona, and we had to postpone. But
yeah, it pushed it back a little, unfortunately. So we are already legally married. We do plan, obviously, on doing the nikah, which is the religious ceremony, and we do plan on having kids. But for now, I think the plan is to get financially settled before we have kids.
And I think also we kind of just want to focus on our careers for a bit first. Yeah. Is it difficult being in a long distance relationship?
So being in a long distance relationship does have its difficulties. For me especially, the way I like to show my affection is somewhat physical, in a sense, either holding hands or hugging or making food for the person. And all of these things is really hard to do when you're 20,000 miles apart. So obviously, for me it has been a challenge, and I've had to rethink and really work hard on being, on showing her that I do love her, I do care for her, and showing off my affection to her in a way that she really feels it, because obviously it's really hard for me to convey, and therefore it can be difficult for Nura to feel like I'm conveying it sufficiently.
So basically we've just had to figure out different ways to convey our love for each other, I guess. And that has become things like communicating with each other, FaceTiming a lot, watching movies, spending quality time together, also buying things for each other.
Yeah.
Writing to each other, not just text messages, but Aqil would occasionally write me love letters, and it's not in the typical sense of actual letters. It's emails. It's our version, which has helped along the way a lot. How have you overcome difficulties from being in a long distance relationship?
I think for us, being long distance in itself is kind of helped because I feel like every couple needs a little bit of time to themselves. You can't be joined at the hip 24/7 kind of thing. And so Nura and I have about a 5-hour time difference, and that inadvertently kind of helps us, because we will each have a bit of time at the end or at the start of the day to kind of be on our own, watch whatever shows we want to watch by ourselves, do things. And so that kind of helps us not feel smothered, like too smothered, especially during this quarantine. But at the same time, on top of that, obviously communicating, talking, fighting a little bit has actually helped, because I feel like our fights, especially in the beginning, were definitely a little more, not childish, but we reacted very negatively. Like sometimes we just turn off the phones and put it aside and just, not very mature. But then after that, because of how childish one of us had been acting, the talk after that was, I felt, much more adult as well. So
yeah, that's definitely taught us that, it is really easy to just turn off your phone and just completely forget about your partner, but actually you start to realize that is the only way of communicating with each other, and it kind of forces you to grow up, to stop being petty, and to actually talk and get down to, why are you upset, how can this be prevented, etc., etc. So yeah. Right, our final question: what made you fall in love with your partner?
Her beautiful smile, her amazing wit, her creativity, the way she blushes, like right now.
What made me fall in love with Aqil was, he was so sweet, so incredibly sweet. And as a person from the UK, I just was not used to someone like that. Like, guys here are kind of like, yeah. Like, tough
Sorry,
macho.
London boys, y'all missed out.
He's like the tough macho guy. Like, not all of them, obviously, but some. And I think we really connected over chicken.
Fried chicken was an amazing connection.
The first time we spoke, we both started talking about fried chicken, and we really connected over it. But yeah, no, it was, he's just so sweet. Like, Mama Zaveda did such a great job. Yeah, what else? You're incredibly patient.
I try to be, not always.
Like, I've never met someone so incredibly patient. You're very intelligent. I was gonna say intellectual, but yeah, very intelligent. Going back to the sweet personality, him and his brother have this in common. Like, this past Christmas when we went to Canada, we were all sitting around the coffee table doing a puzzle, and I was kneeling, and like obviously after a while your knees start hurting, so I like kind of like sit down and I'm like, oh, like under my breath I'm like, oh, my knees hurt. His brother, bless him, I don't know where Aqil was. I hope you would have done this for me. But his brother got up and got me a stool, and I was just like, that is so sweet. Like, that is so... I didn't even say anything or anything like that. I was just like, oh, thank you. Like, they cook, they clean, they do really sweet gestures for you. Honestly, guys, yeah, 10 out of 10.
Also, by the way, to all the thirsty girls in the comments, I'm sorry, my brother already has a girlfriend. I'm sorry. Y'all missed out.
But that's all the questions we had.
We hoped you liked it. We will be doing more and more of these videos. We'll think of more ideas. If you have any ideas, feel free to leave them down in the comments. If you liked our video, please like and subscribe. Our social media will also be in the description, so in case you want to check us out on Instagram.
Yeah, we really hope you like this video. Hopefully it's not too long. But yeah, see you in the next one.
Next episode.
Why did you say episode?
I don't know.